Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Universe Generator, the Golden Sword, which is I don't actually think it is a sequel. I was going to say it's a sequel, I don't think it is a sequel. It is a follow-up project. It is another project from the developer of Yeli Orog, which was an interesting styled game, which we played quite a long time ago, probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, but they contacted me on Twitter and gave me this pre-release version of the game, which is extremely kind of them to do. And it's the first time that's ever happened to me, so it was a very exciting moment when I realised that that particular little thing can be kicked off my YouTube bucket list. So that's enough dilly-dallying. Let's get on with this and figure out what this golden sword is all about. Apparently this game is made in sort of found footage, all sort of VHS tapes, that sort of thing, instead of still images of Yeli Orog. Apparently there's a little bit more emphasis on puzzle solving, and it should be interesting. I don't really know what we're going to find. Okay, so I think we've still got the old system of these bars on the left and right hand side, which let me turn around. Interesting. Whoa, this is pretty. This is a much higher frame rate and level of smoothness than I would expect out of a VHS tape, but the Golden Sword, the path of the Golden Sword, begins with conscious action during sleep. Rather than be thrown to and fro by the waves of his dream space, the practitioner must learn to maintain lucidity. Through this awareness, the practitioner will learn to direct the currents of his dream with absolute control. Are you talking about lucid dreaming, which seems to be a thing which turns up in games a lot recently? Once mastered, the practitioner may access the subliminal dream state where creation can begin. In this state, the practitioner will assume the role of the universe generator, combining essential elements to create the desired dream world. The ultimate goal of this path is the acquisition of the Golden Sword, an anti-telluric weapon which grants the wielder freedom from the currents of the Dark Age. The wielder will become a hero immovable by giant waves, one who can walk on water, who moves with or against the currents as he wishes. Tradition holds that the wielder, once returned to terrestrial realms, will become a mortal god. His return will signal the end of the Dark Age, the destruction of Earth, and the beginning of a new Golden Age. To begin, the practitioner should construct a bedroom and a bed in his initial dream space. This manuscript, once memorized in full during waking hours, that's gonna go well with Phil and his completely empty brain, but never mind, should be visualized in the form of a book and summoned next to the dream bed. So are we already in the basic dream world? Once the initial dream space has stabilized, the practitioner should enter the dream bed and fall asleep. This marks the entrance into the subliminal dream state. How many pages of this are there? Okay, not too many. Okay. It's just because Yeli Orog began with a really, really long document, and it kind of, not spoilt the pacing of it a little bit, but it just meant like the beginning quarter of the video and the last 3 quarters of the video were like completely different things. But don't worry about it. The 3 primary elements necessary to generate the dream world of the Golden Sword must now be visualized along with their corresponding sounds. The first 2 elements must be inverted downwards, signaling the transfer of energy from the higher to the lower. The third element is a confirmation of the downward flow of energy. Together, these elements create a stable transitionary space for an increase in psychic velocity and the dissolution of the terrestrial reality. The practitioner should consult part 2 of this guide once all 3 elements are in place. 3 elements, their attributes, and their order in which they must be visualized. Heat. Explosive power, fast moving, bursting upwards. Try. Uncluttered energy, evaporation, absence of water. 3. Falling arrow. Downward movement. Insurmountable pressure, dissolution of resistance. Part 2. With all 3 elements visualized, the practitioner must now make preparations for an increase in psychic velocity. First, a mode of transport must be visualized. It is recommended that a vehicle habitual to the practitioner can be visualized, such as a car or train. Abstract machines are not recommended, as they will create disconnected liminal space that the physical brain cannot comprehend. Second, the foundational increment value of the practitioner's own dream space must be determined, and with it the proper psychic velocity ascertained. The practitioner can establish the increment value by observing the speed at which his dream increases and decreases. Using the attached tool as a guide, the practitioner must then match the increment value to its corresponding velocity and set it within the dream itself. Upon completion, the practitioner will momentarily break through an outer telluric expanse where a clue for the next step in his journey will be revealed. A page of notes should be added to the practitioner's dream book so he may quickly transcribe the clue before it is forgotten by the physical brain. At this point, no more can be said. The practitioner must achieve adequate velocity, uncover the clues, and continue towards the dream world of the Golden Sword. The second manuscript, once memorized, should be summoned by the practitioner once the Golden Sword is within reach. Okay. So this is interesting. So changing the increment up by 1 seems to increase the velocity by 21 points. Curious. So this reminds me quite a bit of, what was it called? Veiled? That had a similar sort of book with various clues in it. They got expanded upon as you moved through things, so this should be quite interesting. Oh dear, I forgot to put out the center candle. And now I've been fired off into space because I'm just that annoying. And now I've been exiled to Serbia. What an exciting gap year I'm having. Change sound, change dream, check answers, read. Goodness, what a lot of options. I don't think I've inputted an answer yet. But you don't seem very happy about that. So do I need a different velocity? Match the increment value with its corresponding velocity and set it within the dream itself. Yeah, maybe this is what you want me to do? So what if I change the sound? So that's some birds singing. That's the sea. That's fire. It's like scrolling through a soft murmur. Crickets. Clock. Something boiling. Bell. And back to the birds again. Okay. So what if I change this to the clock? No, you don't like that, do you? I thought maybe the sound of the clock and the dream of the clock put together would be the right sort of thing. But perhaps not. I also get the distinct impression I'm supposed to do something with these 3 things before I move on to this. Maybe I'm wrong. What other dreams have we got? Again, something with a bell. The sea. I assume this might be the thing which is boiling over. That, possibly. This might be where the birds are. What would that be? That would be that one. That would be the crickets, surely. What's that? Am I going crazy? Just over here, just on the edge of my camera, like a little flash of... like there. Oh, is that just a coincidence? Is that just like lightning or something that's occurring in the distance? It's not actually my mouse doing that. Distinctly possible. Then back to the clock again. So how do I connect these things up? Because that isn't quite good enough. How do I combine, like, the right sound with the right visual images? Oh, hang on. Okay, I was just going through the different dreams and, like, syncing them up with the correct sound, and then all of a sudden I was, like, the fiery one, and also the volcano, and now this. Heat. Oh, the book! Of course. Oh, maybe it was like, yes, heat is like the first one, so it did the fiery environment that I did first, and then now I need to do the dry one, which would be like the desert. I want to do the desert one next. Okay, we've got different dreams this time. We've got different sounds as well. Yeah, so we've got like a city. We've got like a TV screen of something, an eclipse, a desert, right. Now Now, which of these sounds like the desert?
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I think that'd be the TV. I can't make out what that noise is. That's like howling in the distance? That sounds a bit like it. But I think that's quite right. It sounds like someone wading through water. That sounds right. Yes, that's like wind blowing sand around. Yeah, so that'll be the dry one. And then there's going to be something to do with like a downwards arrow. Yes. Dry, yes. Okay. So... let me read the thing again. Falling arrow, downward movement, insurmountable pressure, dissolution of resistance. So that's a man by a river. That's a broken house. Maybe like downward arrow? Downward movement, insurmountable pressure, dissolution of resistance. Could that be like a bomb? Because this could be like a house in like a city that's being bombed, like in the Blitz, for example. Like downward movement, a bomb falling from a plane, insurmountable pressure, the pressure on the inside of the bomb causing the explosion, and the dissolution of resistance, the aim of a bombing run being to prevent people from keep fighting. So that's like church bells. That's like an Arctic breeze. That sounds like a bombing run. That's a load of monks on some sort of white blanket. That's a very serene image. Those would be the wedding bells. That's a waterfall. Some logs, and then we're back here again. So I think this is right. But it doesn't like that one. What other sounds have we got? That's a very strange noise I can't put my finger on. That's the sound for the waterfall. That is definitely the sound for the waterfall. That just sounds like a perfectly pleasant situation. That's like a burning sound? It's the church bells again. That's the Arctic breeze. I swear this surely makes the most sense. But it doesn't like this one. I would have thought this would have been correct. Because all the logic seems to come together. But it doesn't quite like this. I don't think there's anything in these environments I can click on. Let me try some of the others. Oh, well, I suppose the waterfall would have been going down a lot as well. Oh, yeah, I suppose that makes sense, yeah. I think I just got a bit sort of hooked on the whole bomb idea. And, yeah, my mistake. I guess also because, like, arrow, I was thinking like a bow and arrow. I don't know why I had to mime that as if you didn't know what a bow and arrow was. But, I was thinking of it being like a weapon, and a bomb is also a weapon. So I was thinking like a bomb would make slightly more sense than a waterfall, but that's what happens to me. I interpret things and my brain sort of gets stuck on them. Okay. So having done this, with the three elements visualized, is this to do with the velocity you were talking about? So I can't make 98 on here, but possibly I can change this number? What does this do? Oh, okay, I can change things. Now, 105 was definitely one of those numbers, wasn't it? I remember it. Is that good? I did something, but I don't know if what I did was good. I think I might have caused a train crash. Okay, I think I might have royally screwed that one up, and for that I sincerely apologise. It seems like there's these little, like you can't see the one at the top here, but there's I think I caused a horrible crash again. Oh dear. Okay, am I doing this too slowly? Do I need to go faster or something? I can't make that 0, can I? No, the lowest I can make it is 21, which is there. This is the correct increment. So do I need to increase this? Like, very gently? And increase the increments as I go? And, like, line things up? Like that, maybe? So it's going up by 21, so the next one I want is, like, 84. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, my friend. Yeah, there we are. Then up to 105. So do you want me to do it like this? Then it'll be up to what, 126? Here we go. I don't think this is correct, but I have nothing better to work on right now. So next up to 147. Oh, okay, I think I did do it. I think I managed it. I don't quite get what this has to do with lucid dreaming, or world creation, or golden swords, or anything, but I'm quite enjoying this. This is quite cool. Also, I don't know where all this footage came from, but it's fascinating stuff. Okay, so we've gone from the demon hourglass to the hole in the ground. Big and sort of round it was. Hello. Okay, notes. This. Most useful. Most useful indeed. Most useful. Most useful. Okay. So did I succeed in the first stage? Did I do good? What is that? Oh, it's laundry. Sorry, I thought it was some sort of monster for some reason. Sorry, it's quite late in the day and my brain is wandering. Okay. So we need to go through this process again. Oh, we're here again. Interesting. Do we have more sounds? Yes, we do. Okay, now I presume you don't just want the same ones as before. I mean, I'll try them. No, you don't like that one, so I'm guessing this time it's a different thing. I don't know if these are still the same guide. And maybe I have to go through this stage a few times, and each time it's followed by sort of this stage. Somehow something to do with the increments. And each time that like reveals a clue, and each clue gets me a little further to realizing this world of the Dream Sword. No, so if I'm still following the heat, my best bet would be this one, which I think is like the boiling noise. Come on. No. Okay, let me try some of the others. Let me try the church. Okay, I like the church this time. And the ringing bells. I don't know what that has to do with heat. I'm guessing that's not the clue that you need to go through this time. Okay, so the triangles have gone a different colour. Cold. Okay, is it maybe the opposite? Because before it was heat, dry, falling arrow, and the first one this time was cold. So do I maybe want something wet this time? City, a television, an eclipse, the desert. Oh, we didn't get to see these ones. Like a spinning globe. The sea, here we are. Something that sounds like the sea. Sounds a bit like the sea. Yeah, there we go. Yes. I still have no idea what any of this means, or what the story is, or what my interest in the Golden Sword is, but this is truly fascinating. So before it was falling arrow, so now is it something that's going up? Because I don't think any of these are really going up, are they? One of these things are about things coming down. It's like upstream. That's like a broken building. Something to do with the monks. Maybe they're going on like a pilgrimage or something. Yeah. Seems to like this one. Maybe they're like travelling up a mountain to a monastery or something. Or a vigil of some kind. Rising arrow. Yes. Oh, they were positioned in an arrow. Sorry, I really should have noticed that. They were positioned like geese, actually, flying through the sky. Goodness. Someone's let the rhubarb pie boil over a bit. All these space ones very much remind me of space being depicted in the 70s for some reason. Well, these people look absolutely fascinated. What's this? A textbook of some kind? I can't read on what it says in the writing, but am I supposed to read? Oh, goodness, hello, friend. Okay, part 3. I don't think there was a part 3. Is this like the second book they were talking about? A final step must be completed before the practitioner may approach the Golden Sword. The expulsion of lunar darkness from the dream world of the Golden Sword through the manifestation of solar energy. To accomplish this step, the practitioner should consult the story of Beatribs and his 2 brothers. Oh, goodness, these names are going to be impossible. Together, the 3 brothers confronted the Yeli Orog, the Lord of the Dark Age. Ah, so the games are linked somehow. Shortly after the arrival of Yeli Orog on Earth and the beginning of the Dark Age, these 3 brothers, we're going to call them, made a pact to enter the dream worlds and acquire the Golden Sword. Upon entering the dream world of the Golden Sword, the 3 brothers were quickly captured by Yeli Orog. Yeli Orog dealt the brothers the following punishments. The eldest was encased in a stone tomb, together with the Golden Sword and hidden in darkness. The others were made blind, stripped of both ocular sight and the ability to visualize. They were condemned to hopelessly wander the dream world, searching for their brother. Blinded and unable to traverse the dream world using sight, the 2 brothers learn to harness the power of sound. Through the repetition of mantras, the brothers are capable of temporarily lifting the veil of lunar darkness, thereby revealing the dream world of the Golden Sword. However, in their blinded state, they are unable to visualize the stone tomb encasing their brother and the Golden Sword. First, the practitioner must locate the 2 wandering brothers. Once found, the brothers will chant a mantra with sufficient solar energy to lift the lunar darkness. With the darkness expelled, the Golden Sword is close within reach. The practitioner must correctly visualize the stone tomb that contains the Golden Sword. The stone tomb can be recognized by the cold tears flowing from the brother's eyes. Once correctly visualized, the curse of the stone tomb will disintegrate, freeing him and revealing the Golden Sword. The practitioner should acquire the Golden Sword and return to Earth. Thus marks the end of the Dark Age, the destruction of Earth, and the beginning of a new Golden Age. Okay. I don't remember the story from the first game very well, because it was quite a long time ago. I seem to certainly remember it had a lot to do with demons. Ugh, hello, friend. Are you the Yeli Orog? Or are you one of the unfortunate brothers? It's interesting, really, because it's such a weird variety of different sort of sounds and sights. Normally I wouldn't be too enthused about this because it would be all sort of confusing and sort of all just jammed together, but this is actually quite intriguing in a way. That's the noise it was making when I was checking my answer before, so that's curious. So this is some sort of antenna on top of a building. Okay, so I can change these to represent different sort of faces. Interesting. And was my task to visualize the tomb or to find the brothers first? So are these always the same images coming up? I think they are. So presumably there's a sequence I need to do. Yeah, so I think my job is to locate the 2 wandering brothers, and then that reveals the darkness. And then we go on about visualizing the correct tomb. So I think these 3 faces are 3 people. I mean, this one seems to have a beard. This one seems to have the jawline of a man. So I'm guessing these are 3 men, and I have to identify possibly which of the 2 are the correct 2. to be the right brothers. I mean, not the right brothers, but the correct brothers. But then how I check my answer, I'm not quite sure. Because doing this is quite... Going back up there is quite a long sort of a sequence. I'm gonna guess it's these two, because these two don't have beards. This one has a beard here. And it says here that the eldest brother is the one in the stone tomb. So I'm gonna guess that it's the one with the beard that's the eldest. And the other two are the younger ones. Yes. Good. A little bit of logic and a little bit of guessing worked me through them. Well, they all looked old enough to have beards, if you ask me. These the brothers? The Wandering Brothers? Yes. Dispel the lunar darkness. Oh, so when you say lunar darkness, do you mean darkness brought about by the lunar? Lunar being an old-fashioned term for the moon. So, like, dispel the eclipse, make the eclipse stop. So, do we have any further information here? No. Any more notes? No. Okay. So what sounds have we got? That's a city, isn't it? That's a sort of igloo. It's a train. I have no idea what that is. Oh, is that Earth? Is this like a satellite or something in orbit? Those are some stalactites. This would be a city, yeah? So what am I trying... What order do I need to do then? I'm going to assume it's the heat, dry, falling arrow again, perhaps? This is a volcano, which seems the closest to heat we've seen so far. So we've got a lagoon, we've got an igloo, these things again. So I'm going to guess it's this one for the heat. So which one sounds like heat? That's definitely like a dripping noise, isn't it? This noise would definitely link up with this. It's like a dripping noise in a cave. That sounds like an Arctic breeze to me, which I'm guessing is this one, for the igloo. I don't know what this is. I really hope this isn't somebody's dog. This is definitely the city, isn't it? This one. That sounds really quiet. But I don't quite know which one it would fit to, because it's definitely not the train. Which one would be the train? That might be the train. It seems a bit too quiet. No, that's the train. That's definitely the sound of the train. That one I'm guessing is for this one. Just don't know which one is the correct one to go for. I think we're on the stage of correctly visualizing the stone tomb. Recognized by the cold tears flowing from the eyes. Don't know which of these is right though. Oh, the flowing tears. Ice. Stalactites. Dripping noises. Flowing tears. That was blatantly obvious, but just went straight over my tired brain. And for that, I apologise. I have been a moron. And that shouldn't really surprise anybody. That was good though. That was a good logical puzzle. I was just too much of a muppet to work it out. Is the apocalypse on its way? I mean, technically, if the apocalypse is a set point in time, then it's constantly on its way, just like death. That's not the point. Let's try not to be depressing. Some of these pieces of footage are really pretty. Especially that one. That's really nice. I I just have no idea what it all means. I understand now the story is somehow linked in with the first game. But I'll be honest, the vast majority of the story of Yeli Orog went straight over my head at the best of times. That's it. That's fascinating. That's intriguing. Which is interesting, because this game has managed to do something which not a lot of other games can do. Usually when a game leaves me with a lot of questions and it doesn't give me a lot of answers, usually I find that relatively frustrating and annoying, because I like things to have a nice tidy ending. But this game has just left me intrigued. So how did it all come together? What did I want the Golden Sword for? Was that mentioned in the books? Was the Golden Sword needed to defeat the Yeli Orog? What happened to the brothers? And what happened to the Yeli Orog? So many unanswered questions. It's fascinating. It's really nicely done. I like the greater emphasis on puzzles, and I like the interweaving of the puzzles and the story. That's been done very, very nicely. And I think moving from mostly still images to little bits of footage, I think is also very nice. And I don't know if all the footage is actual real-life footage that has been collected from somewhere, or has actually been made to look like old-fashioned footage. But either way, it's done very effectively. It all comes together very nicely, and I like the blending of images with sound. That's a very nice little touch, because so many puzzles in games like this are very based upon things like sequences or linking two things up, but it's always about linking up physical things or visual things. Very, very, very infrequently do they put good emphasis on utilizing sound as a puzzle solving mechanic, and this game did. It was about figuring out what the sounds were and how they linked up to the correct image, and then using that to progress, which was very, very nice. I really enjoyed that. I'm just really curious. What does it all mean? What's the story behind this? I hope there's more to that. I hope more of this comes along in time. This is a really nice progression of the game, and a very nice development upon the first game, and I'd be very interested to see how much further this goes. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for Universe Generator, the Golden Sword. Thank you very much as well to the developer for giving me an early access Steam code to this. I hope you've enjoyed this. You can find the game on Steam should you wish to have it. It will be released on the 8th of June. I presume I will get this video out before the 8th of June, but absolutely no promises on that. But yes, thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, for this fascinating game that's really got me thinking about stuff. So yes, thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.